where these players played against each other, and it was actually Kevin who beat Ross when they were certainly in the race for the Players' Championship, and that win actually really helped Kevin qualify for the Players' Championship.
And I like this matchup for Obzon Aggro. You know, they're a little bit faster to the board. The creatures are better pound for pound than the one in the Jeskai Aggro deck. And Ross's removal is a lot more consistent in the matchup than Kevin's.
I know we've watched Kevin a couple of times today, but he's running into some really tough opponents. That's the thing. We've had him basically running players against that are really near the top of our leaderboard. So, you know, right now he's playing against Ross Merriam. It'd be hard to pass up a 1 versus a 3. That's for sure. You see the Warden going to come into the red zone there. Windswept Teeth searches up the plains, pump up the jam on the Warden. Jones already down to 17, but he's got the answer for the Warden with Lightning Strike.
And very important not to mess around in the deck with Obzon Charm and Dromoka's Command. Just kill it while he's tapped out.
Don't get too cute, as you like to say. So the Warden of the first tree is off the table. Merriam will draw a card for the turn. Both these players 7-1. The difference between 8-1 and 7-2, a big deal going into tomorrow. Merriam will play a Temple. That top card going to go to the bottom here for Ross. Does he have a follow-up play? It appears that he does. It's a Fleece main line. He'll pass the turn back. Jones will untap. He'll take a draw step. Temple of Epiphany is what he's found. He'll play that Temple, which means he'll scry. See where that top card's going to go. Looks like it's going to stay on top, apparently, though he looks like he may be consulting the hand at this point. It's going to move to the bottom. Soulfire Grandmaster, a passing of the turn here. Go back Merriam's way. Dromoka's Command in hand here for Ross. Obzon Charm 2.
And if Ross gets to untap with the creature, Dromoka's Command is almost guaranteed to be awesome in this matchup.
Yeah.
+1/+1, fight, and prevent all damage from a spell are all awesome modes, and you get 2 of them.
2 good deals.
2 good deals.
Start up with a Temple. Take a look at that top card. What's interesting here is Ross does have a copy of Obzon Charm in his hand. He could just make Fleece Main Line into a 5/5 and just say, getcha.
Yep.
It is a little aggressive.
There is a risk there. You know, sometimes these decks have a main deck roast hanging out in them. Valorous Stance is not unheard of. I think with Dromoka's Command in hand, Ross can afford to play pretty conservative and just wait for Kevin to make a move.
The thing is, Kevin does have 3 main deck copies of Valorous Stance. So you don't know if Ross knows that. But he's certainly going to take his time on this turn because I imagine that's a pretty attractive play. 5 toughness against the Jeskai deck is always very attractive. It's part of the reason Siege Rhino's so good against him.
Yeah. Hard for them to kill.
Dromoka's Command's a little bit easier as they get this off the battlefield. Kevin will gain a little bit of life because of the fight. Now Ross will come across for 4 points of damage. So is that the best use of Dromoka's Command in this matchup? Tough to say.
Well, Ross didn't really want to tap out for something like Anafenza, which he had available, because it just opens up Kevin to have some pretty powerful lines with the Soulfire Grandmaster. If you're Kevin, you're pretty happy that's how Dromoka's Command got used, and it was still very powerful for Ross. If that card's just so good against Kevin once Ross untaps.
Kevin does have Rebel Master in hand, Temple of Triumph 2. Looks like he's going to start with the Temple. Wasn't sure if he wanted to play that or Mystic Monastery for the land, but he does opt to go with the Temple. That top card looks like it's going to stay on top. And now here is the Rabble Master. So a Goblin will be joining the party, and Jones will be coming across for a point of damage. Merriam's going to go down to 16. They'll untap and take a draw here. Another Obzon Charm. Curious to see just how aggressive Merriam wants to get. Does have that Anafenza in hand too, as you mentioned.
But Kevin has a pretty good setup here. If Stoke the Flames is available along with Hordeling Outburst, he gets to have a very good tempo turn here. If Ross is just, you know, attacking and casting in Anafenza, Kevin gets to crack back for a lot of damage and do a lot to contain Ross's board.
There is Anafenza, and Ross is going to turtle up a little bit here.
I think that he feels like he can't risk Stoke the Flames. If he attacks with Fleece Main Lion, casts Anafenza and says go. Valorous Stance too. I mean, both of those cards are really bad news for Ross.
There's a lot that can go wrong.
It opens up an opportunity for Goblin Rabble Master to attack, and Ross might just feel like he can't risk that tempo swing.
Well, here comes Rabble Master, along with 2 Goblins. Rabble Master, a 4-power creature. There's your block. At least main line lead a token too. So these 2 will trade. Now we could see Hordeling Outburst. Jones might have some interest too in just leaving up Ochiai's command. Might be the best of both worlds, honestly.
It is a little bit risky against instants because he's going to have to tap out basically to draw a card and get back Soulfire Grandmaster. And if Ross fires back with a removal spell or even just going monsters with Fleecemane Lion, not a great turn there for Kevin.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot because Kevin has Stoke and Ochiai's command, so I could see a world where he says, I'll just leave up the mana. But then Ross can just say, I'll just leave up the mana.
Right.
I'm not going to make a move if you don't make a move, and then who does that benefit?
Well, right now I think it benefits Ross because he's attacking for 4 and Kevin's attacking for 1. So if I'm Kevin, I'm not getting too fancy here. I just like casting Whirling Outburst and taking care of the Fleecemane Lion.
That looks like it was going to do.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe you want to get a little tricky there. I think that sort of holding pattern right now favors Ross by quite a bit, and this is just better for Kevin. Get a board, and then you hold up Ochiai's command. That's a much better position.
Because if you're Kevin, you get to untap here with Ochiai's command, and Ross doesn't do anything too bad, it's really hard to lose.
Right.
Looks like Ross is going to start with Abzan Charm. He's going to draw 2 cards. He drew an Abzan Charm and a Fleecemane Lion. Now here is Fleecemane Lion. Pass that turn back over to Jones. Jones will take a draw here. Looks like it was a copy of Battlefield 4. It should go along with the 2 copies of Ochiai's command. See if Kevin wants to attack with these goblins or not. Looks like he's just going to pass the turn back. Maybe.
Well, I guess Kevin still wants to sit on Ochiai's command on defense. I was about to say there's an argument here for casting Ochiai's command to draw a card and get back Soulfire Grandmaster, because if you find Stoke or Lightning Strike, it's insane. But that play's probably too greedy, and he can just sit on Ochiai's command right now.
Might be a touch greedy.
The tough part here is, if Ross is able to just go monsters with Fleecemane Lion and Kevin's sitting on 2 copies of Ochiai's command, where's Kevin going here? I suppose he can wait 1 turn, get back Soulfire Grandmaster and draw a card, and then hope that Soulfire Grandmaster plus some cheap spells allow him to value Ross out of the game that way.
So it's a bit of a staring contest right now. Ochiai's command is going to target Soulfire Grandmaster and draw a card. That will resolve. Now if you're Ross, do you want to go monstrous now or do you continue to wait? I suppose that's the question. He does have a copy of Abzan Charm in hand as well, so if Kevin wants to fire off a burn spell at the Fleecemane Lion, he can go monstrous or he can pump with Charm. He's got some options.
Yeah.
Interesting spot. Merriam's just going to pass the turn back. He's got all that mana available, so he's not in a rush to make a move. Jones will draw a card.
The thing is, I like Ross not doing anything because as the board currently stands, Kevin can't attack unless he's willing to attack Ross down to 7 and lose the Soulfire Grandmaster.
Or can he? Mantis Rider says he can attack.
Well, if Mantis Rider is the draw step, then Ross is much better served having Abzan Charm available than having a monstrous Fleecemane Lion.
I'm inclined to agree.
So this works out pretty well for Ross either way. Good patience there. I think a lot of people would have had the instinct to make that thing monstrous, but Ross surveys the board and realizes, well, Kevin can't attack right now anyway, so I can wait.
Here's Abzan Charm. That'll take care of the Mantis Rider. Kevin trying to get some chip damage in here. He'll lose a Goblin token to deal 2 points of damage. Merriam's going to go down to 8. Soulfire Grandmaster had no interest in coming into the red zone. Now Jones will pass the turn back. Last card in hand is Ochiai's command. Ross going to tap some mana here. He's going to cast Abzan Charm. Down to 6, draw 2. Have to try to overpower this Ochiai's command.
A hard thing to do.
Also, Kevin is 1 land away from being able to loop Ochiai's command.
Yep.
That means he's 1 land away from being able to loop almost every spell in his deck.
Yeah, once he can loop Ochiai's command, then it becomes really hard to cast creatures, and if you don't cast a creature, Kevin goes, gain 4 life, draw a card with buyback.
Let's see where Merriam starts. Starts with Fleecemane Lion. What's next? Surrock. That one might get countered. I think that's the card that's probably good enough to counter.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Kevin will have to take 1 to counter it, but I think it's worth it. He'll also get to draw a card, so a little dismiss action there. I suppose exclude.
Just spent 4 mana.
Oh, 4 mana, okay. Jones will draw. He drew an island off Ochitai's command. And now a temple for the draw step. So we'll see where the scry goes.
Ross is a removal spell away from turning this game around.
Oh, yeah. The tough thing when you're playing against Jeskai, because they're a deck that plays so well at instant speed, is, you know, Kevin played a temple with his turn, but you don't know what that card is in his hand. So you have to factor in so many things into the equation.
Yep. The thing is that a burn spell is really easy for Ross to play around. He can't.
Yeah.
So he kind of has to play like that's a land.
Yep.
Which is conveniently for us exactly what it is.
He's got to go down the mental checklist.
Right.
Of okay, is it Ochitai's command? Is it Stoke, Lightning Strike? All this stuff. Is it dig through time? Can I even beat a dig through time? Probably not. So there's a Rashasha Death Dealer. Pass the turn back. Jones better draw some action real soon here. We know he's got an island. Now he's reaching for some mana. Reaching for a lot of mana. Boy, maybe Dragon Lord Ochitai?
Seems likely.
Yep.
Which is interesting. That's one of the cards that Ross can beat, assuming that his leftover here is still an Obzon Charm. Looks like it's Urborg, so this is bad news for Ross.
He'll make Fleece Mainline monstrous. Time to draw. Didn't get a great look at what he found. It's interesting, too, is that Kevin kept attacking with those Goblin tokens. Those chip shots really did start to add up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, now Ross at 6. Kevin finds any burn spell for Dragon Lord Ochitai. That's game.
How does Merriam work his way out of this situation? It's a tough one now. Dragon Lord Ochitai showed up right on time for Jones. Even if Siege Rhino doesn't do a great job of saving him now. He also has to be careful with how many cards he attacks with, because Kevin can just say, all right, untap, attack with everything.
Well, that exposes him to losing the game to something like Hero's Downfall. Ross might be in a position to Alpha Strike right here. He may get a lot of chump blocks out of Kevin.
He's reaching.
He can't stop attacking. He's got to hope that Kevin misses with Dragon Lord Ochitai and that he gets to play on.
Well, here are the attacks. Yeah, it's interesting to see how many cards is Ross supposed to attack with here. I think that's the truly interesting part. That Fleece Main line can go monstrous, and of course, Rashasha Death Dealer can pump for a whole bunch. There's a block. It's going to be a double block there on the Fleece Main line. Kevin trying to force the hand of Merriam.
Yep. He's saying if you want to tap really low, you can't pump your Death Dealer, and there's fewer removal spells you have available for Dragon Lord Ochitai.
Looks like Ross's hand right now is Urborg and Death Dealer, so Death Dealer in hand doesn't appear to matter a ton. Merriam does have the necessary mana to pump quite a bit here on the Death Dealer if he would like to. So again, he needs to be careful with how he does tap.
Yeah, he cannot afford a point of damage.
Yeah.
Here.
So 2 black and 2 green. The land we're always tapping for a black mana.
Yep.
From Urborg, not from itself.
And I really like Ross doing that instead of going monstrous with Fleece Mainline. He's setting himself up for next turn. If Kevin misses with Dragon Lord Ochitai, he draws a removal spell. He's got lethal.
Well, he didn't miss. He's got a Mana Strider, and that's going to get the job done there. Ross Merriam going to lose game number 1 here. Kevin Jones going to win game number 1 over Ross Merriam. Jeskai aggro up a game over Obzon aggro. Flyers are very powerful.
Yes, they are.
We know that. And it's been helping Kevin Jones all weekend long. Up a game right now, currently sitting at 7-1. We take a look at the sideboards. We will start with Ross Merriam and his 15.
2 copies of Thoughtseize, 3 copies of Duress, 3 copies of Self-Inflicted Wound and Ultimate Price, 2 copies of Drown Sorrow, 3 copies of Wingmate Rock, and 1 copy of Elspeth. The card that stands out to me here most of all is Wingmate Rock. If Ross is able to raid that, it's just a lot of value. And I think those three are definitely going to be coming off the bench here. Beyond that, I think you'll probably see Self-Inflicted Wound as an answer to both Menace Rider and Dragon Lord Ochitai. I don't like the discard a lot in this matchup, nor am I a big fan of Ultimate Price, as it doesn't kill Menace Rider or Dragon Lord Ochitai, but Ross may want it more than some of the discard spells he's got in the main deck.
3 Anger of the Gods, 3 Master of the Unseen, 3 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Arishan Cleric, an Elspeth Sun's Champion, and Glare of Heresy, a Roast, and a Negate. A lot of good options here for Kevin.
Well, the two that stand out are the copies of Roast and Glare of Heresy, just really solid removal spells. Beyond that, there's some cards that are okay in some spots and not good in others. Disdainful Stroke, good against the big part of the deck, and Anger of the Gods, good against the small stuff, but neither card is good against the deck in its entirety. I think the one copy of Elspeth will definitely come in here as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Negate came in because the removal spells in Dromoka's command are very, very potent against Kevin. I suppose Anger of the Gods is probably net benefit for Kevin, but there's going to be some spots where it doesn't do very much.
Fair enough. Well, we do get ready here for game number 2. Ross Merriam will be on the play. We'll very quickly talk about the Star City Games newsletter. It's revamped, it's ready to go, and it's your source for Magic the Gathering news.
Yeah, it's a great summary of the week's content, both on the Star City Games website, where there's a couple selected articles for you to go check out, an open series match of the week, exclusive deck lists and advice from some of your favorite premium columnists, and an exclusive cardboard crack comic. You can sign up for free right now at starcitygames.com/newsletter.
Game number 2, going to be underway here in just a moment. Do want to thank everybody at home for joining us on this wonderful Saturday. Cedric Phillips, Patrick Sullivan, we got Nick Miller on the sideboard picking your matches, doing your deck techs. Had a lot of fun talking about Magic Origins so far today. We'll be doing it more tomorrow as well. If there's any cards you would like us to discuss at home, do let us know at SCG Live, hashtag SCGBALT, or you can send your tweets directly to me at Cedric A. Phillips or to Patrick at Basic Mountain. The set just looks awesome.
Pretty juicy. I think we're going to be talking about a certain fish tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just saw that card for the first time.
Yeah.
The real deal.
So it takes a lot for you to go like, oh man, that card's really good.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we will talk about the new Harbinger. It was what, a Grand Prix Singapore.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Little teaser for you. Makes you got to watch tomorrow to get Patrick's thoughts. Maybe he'll yell at you like he did for Honored Hierarch. Maybe he won't.
Real good.
Yeah.
This card is real good.
It's really, really good. I don't think it's a card that really puts Mono Blue Devotion on the map very much, but I think it's a card that makes Merfolk real good.
Modern Merfolk. Legacy Merfolk.
It's no joke. I'm a big fan.
Pretty powerful with Aether Vial.
Yeah, they kind of secretly made Aether Vial a little bit better. Pile Driver's back. This new Merfolk, I'm just saying. I might try a Vial deck in Modern now, where I was only playing Tron before. I'm interested. Doesn't take a lot, though.
I was never a big fan of Aether Vial in non-blue decks. So I want to play Aether Vial and then leave up a shield of counter spells and tricks.
So you're never a fan of Aether Vial in non-blue decks?
In Affinity is a different case.
You beat me to it.
Affinity is a different.
All right, I was going to come right after you.
That almost doesn't count as a Magic deck. That deck was so good.
All
I mean, in tribal decks where you see Aether Vial now.
See, now I'm with you. I guess it is just cheating.
And red decks always feels like, surprise, it's a creature that doesn't affect anything at instant speed and just untaps and attacks with everything else, and you can kill it or block it like anything else.
Don't talk about Mogwar Marshal like that. I'm right here. Surprise, I have to block your Tarmogoyf because if I don't, I'm dead.
Right.
It's typically what happens. But I get to block it 3 times.
I get to block it for a while.
Yeah, 3 times. No, I'm not paying Echo. Leave me alone. Kevin Jones up a game here. Ross Merriam will be on the play here for game number 2. Players lay out their opening hands. Kevin Jones, he's qualified for the Players' Championship. Ross Merriam would like to go back. He had maybe the most memorable match of that entire tournament against Reed Duke.
Yeah, if that one wasn't number 1, it was real close.
Yeah, well, Reed would not die. The Sandstep Citadel is how things will begin here. Jones, he's got a tri-land of his own in Mystic Monastery. It's an Urborg. It's a Warden of the First Tree and the passing of the turn. An island here for Jones. And a Soulfire Grandmaster. To Merriam we go. Looks like Basic Forest may have been the draw. Here comes the Warden. No blocks, of course. That would be a bad idea for Kevin. And Offense is pretty nice on turn number 3. Kevin better have an answer to that one. Stoke the Flames was the draw. The question is, does he have a land? I don't think he does.
Nope.
Here comes the Grandmaster. There's a block. Lightning Strike will finish off. How do you feel about that block?
I love it from Ross, as you know, you got to respect the possibility of Valorous stance in this matchup, and Glare of Heresy as well. So it's important not to overvalue your 4/4. If you're getting a turn and 2 cards out of Kevin, I think you're pretty happy with that.
All right. I guess it makes it easier.
Yeah, and if you got a second hand offensive, then it's really easy.
Kevin will pass the turn back. Ross will draw a card. He'll play a copy of Land War Waste. He'll come into the red zone. Warren will get a little bit bigger. What's the follow-up here for Ross? He's tapping 5 mana. Is it a rock? We're going to go to a third game here in just a moment, I think. I don't even think Kevin has a disdainful stroke or anything. He'll draw a card. Yep, let's move on real quick. Ross Merriam will tie things up against Kevin Jones. Opposite aggro, Jeskai aggro. Get ready for a third one.
Now, that was a play I actually am not a fan of from Ross.
Okay.
Because he opened him up to disdainful stroke, untap, draw a land, maybe have a removal spell for one of your creatures, and swing the tempo back that way. I think I would have preferred just a pump on Ward of the First Tree that turn.
Okay, I can see that.
But I did like the block with Anafenza, even if he didn't have another copy of Anafenza.
We'll talk about our spring creature collection here on the Open Series now. We've taken some of our favorite creatures from game night, and then we added a little bit of Delver Squeakers action.
Yeah, exactly. You see the April, May, and June kits there, the kitten, the bee, and the bunny, along with Delver Squeakers. That's all available on card sleeves, play mats, and dice bags. Head over to starseedgames.com/creature collection, pick up your items today, or head over to our dealer booth at any of our opens or any Grand Prix that we're vending at.
The kitten, it's the best one we've done.
Very popular.
It's the most successful by so much.
Setting the stage for Tassiper, even more popular.
Indeed. Cats sell.
Yep.
It's just that simple.
We already knew that because the internet exists. We have that verified.
That's true. It's very true. I wonder how rich the person with Grumpy Cat is.
You wouldn't want to know.
Just how
I would not want to know.
How screaming rich is that person now?
Enough to make you lose your faith in humanity.
Okay.
Probably.
All right.
Not that that's person's fault. It's just, how is this person deserving of these kind of rewards for just having a grouchy-looking cat?
Mm-hmm. I think that, you know, when the people who have a bunch of money all sit at a table together and they figure out, well, how did you make your millions? I have a grumpy-looking cat.
Right.
What did you do?
First person to come up with a Chuck Norris meme or whatever.
Yep, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me, so I'm rich. How about you? I don't know. I thought of Honey Boo Boo. Well,
Right.
There you go. There you go. Anybody can do it.
Yeah, it's a bad scene, man. I don't want to.
That dinner table must just be a delight. Must be truly fantastic. I don't know. I brought the Harlem Shake video up.
Right. Do you feel bad? No, me neither. All right, cool. Let's go get dinner.
Indeed. Indeed. The internet is a wonderful place.
Yeah.
It's truly great. Can't live with it, can't live without it. Wouldn't be able you at home wouldn't be able to watch this without the internet.
Right.
Take that. Ross looks like he's going to do a little bit more sideboarding here. So we will talk about Ross Merriam, number 3 on our leaderboard here for season 3. We talked about it a little bit earlier in this serial thing that he's doing. And we're going to have a real conversation about this because I need to get through. You know, if you want to be a Jeopardy guy, that's fine. I know a lot of people who are really into Jeopardy.
Yep.
And Ross actually stops what he's doing every day to watch Jeopardy because he's serious about being a contestant. That's fine. Tennis, whatever. I'm not really a tennis guy, but I respect what they do. It's super hard. I can never be good at it. Roger Federer, Nadal, those guys are all awesome. But this, with the cereal, it doesn't make any sense.
Probably just to prevent sogginess.
But you should just eat the cereal faster.
Maybe he wants to savor it.
Well, that's dumb.
You got to talk to this guy about. Listen, he's not harming anyone doing this. It's weird, right? It's really weird, but he's not causing anyone any trouble.
That's debatable. It's debatable. Also, what's wrong? Everyone dislikes soggy cereal for some reason. Soggy cereal's got a bad rap.
It's pretty bad.
It's really not that bad. It's really not that bad.
I'm not a big cereal guy, so I can't.
What's your favorite cereal? Go. I swear to God, if you say Cheerios or Corn Flakes.
No. If we're talking about like horrible for you, like teeth rotting, diabetes inflicting cereal,
What else could we be talking
Cinnamon
about?
Toast Crunch.
That a boy. There was
Gotta be-
only one answer.
Gotta be Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
There was only one answer the entire time.
We talked about this last week in Indianapolis. I think that might have also been on the food pyramid when I was a kid, or something similar to that, like cereal. We got a lot of really bad advice in the 80s about food.
There's only one correct answer.
Yeah. What did you have today? Well, we got some Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the morning, had pizza for lunch. That's on the food pyramid. Had a little bit of soda. That wasn't actually on there, but I think there's a little section for sugars. So
Little sody pop.
yep.
Attention Magic players.
It is the best cereal of all time. I've never met anyone who doesn't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Because how could you not like it?
Right. The thing is that the milk is so good on the leftovers.
The best part.
Yeah. So that's really cheating.
That's why you pour the milk into the bowl.
Yeah.
If you have any business
Duh.
with them to take care of tonight, make sure
Corn
you
Pop's
do
a
so
distant
next
second,
few
by the
minutes.
way.
Thank you.
Great cereal. Temple of Triumph here for Kevin Jones. A Temple of Silence here for Ross Merriam. Leave that card on top. We're underway here in game number 3. A Mystic Monastery, pass that turn back. Can Merriam break serve here with a 2-drop? Looks like he can. It's a Fleeceman Lion. Battlefield 4 is a draw here for Kevin. We going to the skies? Yes, we are. Mantis Rider coming on in. We'll see if Merriam has an answer to that card. This certainly demands one.
A lot of answers in his deck, but you better have it now. There's another Mantis Rider coming.
Here comes Fleeceman Line. 17-16 in favor for Merriam. But for how long? We'll find out. 16 all. And Offensive, pass that turn back. The race is certainly on right now.
But this race is pretty solid for Kevin here if he has a follow-up Mantis Rider.
Well, Kevin's the one with the burn spells.
Stoke the Flames to draw 2.
Oh, boy. There's Temple. Kevin will take a look at that top card. See if he wants to keep it on top.
Casting the second copy of Mantis Rider is not free. If he respects BioBlight, he might try to find a different line to play.
It's interesting to me talking to the players right now. They're playing Standard, and most of them have really come to the same conclusion, which is they just don't respect BioBlight anymore as an option.
Just people don't have it. Too
Yeah.
hard to cast and not impactful enough against the 4/4s and 5/5s.
Yeah, it just seems like the players are just like, people just aren't playing BioBlight. If they're playing like 1 or 2. I don't think Russ has any in his deck list.
No copies in the 75.
Yeah. We have somehow gotten to that point. Red zone, attack for 8. What's the follow-up here from Merriam? A card like Siege Rhino would be huge right now.
Even a removal spell is excellent.
Yeah. Because these two are damage racing like crazy. A Temple of Malady is how Ross will start things. Top card goes to the bottom. If it's just a creature for Ross, he's dead.
Yes. Kevin goes attack you for 6, stoke you, and that's it.
Yep, it's just a creature. Fleeceman Lion is not going to get the job done right now. Kevin will draw a copy of Glare of Heresy, get you. He'll tap some mana. It's time to stoke the flames here for Kevin, most likely. He'll start with Soulfire Grandmaster. Now he'll follow up, just in case it matters. 4 damage upstairs. That's going to do it. Kevin Jones going to win this match here over Ross Merriam. 2-1. Kevin got him again.
Kevin's on the play. Ross had the first play, but Mantis Rider was just too good. Ross no removal spell, and just guy aggro uncontested is going to be a hard deck to beat.
Yeah, it's fun to watch these two players play against each other in the Open Series. We come to the Northeast quite a bit. That's where they're really located, and this is the second time in a row Kevin has gotten the better of Ross here. Kevin goes into day 2 at 8-1. Ross at 7-2.